Welcome back to another episode of Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Chris is going to be talking with two members from the Wood County Board of Developmental Disabilities. So stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Today, Christopher is going to be talking with two individuals from the Wood County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Chris, it's always a pleasure talking with you.
It's always a pleasure to be here, Patrick. Talking with Renee Wood in the past, talking with her about her child with autism and how does she cope with different communications and different things. And she had recommended Carrie and Sarah to come up and be a guest on our telecast and talk a little bit about their agency, talk a little bit about their group. What do they do in Wood County, people with multiple disabilities? Every county does things a little bit different, but they offer the same thing as any other county would. Carly, would you like to go first and tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit, your role in Wood County?
Sure. My name is Carly Dowk. I am the Health Supports Coordinator with the Wood County Board of Developmental Disabilities. I'm also an occupational therapist by trade. So here in Wood County, we have a lot of services and programs, but we're here today to talk about our Technology First initiatives. So we do have a couple grants right now with the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. So we have the Region 1 Tech Hub grant. So with that, we're doing quite a few things. We have a tech house, Twin Tech 2.0. That home is open for tours, both in person and virtually. And you can also stay overnight as well. So that's kind of our biggest resource. With that resource as well, we partner with the Wood County Educational Service Center. So they do their transition classroom in that house as well. So the students, instead of going to school, they come to the home to work on independent living skills and some vocational skills. So we have that resource. Also through that grant, we offer monthly virtual brainstorming sessions throughout Region 1, and really anyone can join those throughout the state. And I know we have some attendees out of the state as well. That's on the We Thrive Together platform. So we do that. We've also been doing monthly in-person learning labs. So we host those all throughout our region as well. In addition to that, we partner with a lot of community partners to work on offering more inclusive programming throughout our area. So that goes with both grants. So some of the other resources we have a mobile universal changing unit. So that's a trailer that we are making available at various community events to make those more inclusive. And then right now we're working with the Wood County Parks District, as well as the Toledo Metro Parks, the local libraries, some ADS sites, and just working on integrating assistive technology into many facets of life and of the community. So obviously, I'm very passionate about the field of OT and assistive technology. So, we're always coming up with new programs and new ideas. A little bit more about me. I completed my undergraduate at The Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes. And then grad school at the University of Toledo. And then I started working here ever since. In Wood County, our mission is to support, empower, and inspire people. And I really think that we do that through all of our programming and services. So happy to be a part of the Wood County Board and also happy to be here today. Thanks for having us, Chris.
Sounds like you got a lot there in Wood County to offer.
We do.
Sitting here listening to all of it got me excited because I want to learn, I want to know more. So Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do there in Wood County.
Yeah, so Carly and I are in the same department. Carly's the boss lady, we like to say. But I'm an occupational therapy assistant. I also have some additional schooling and background in assistive technology. So I have extra credentials, ATP, which is an assistive technology professional. So I also have my undergraduate degree from Ohio State. So go Bucks, just like Carly. I have my occupational therapy assistant degree from Owens Community College up here in the Toledo area. And then I have additional training and education from Bowling Green State University as well in assistive technology. So I do a lot of the work of what Carly was talking about with those projects, the grants that we have. But additionally, we work with all the individuals served by the Wood County Board for their occupational therapy needs. And a lot of times that's centered on assistive technology. So I love that we have the opportunity to work with individuals, but then with this grant funding from the state level, we have the opportunity to really share our knowledge and kind of our expertise with other counties. So it's been really exciting to get to know some other people across the state and throughout Northwest Ohio. And like Carly said, to work with these community partners, because we know that assistive technology can be really helpful at home and at work. And we would really love to see assistive technology being utilized at the places that we like to play too. So for example, we recently got to partner with Toledo Metro Parks and Wood County Parks and Recreation. We recently had our mobile changing unit at the Black Swamp Arts Festival, which is a big community festival here in Bowling Green. So we're seeing that we can implement assistive technology with our community partners to make the individuals that we work with to make their fun time a little bit easier to access as well.
Tell us a little bit about your tech home. What do you mean by that? You know, everybody has tech in their home. So what makes it different from having my iPad and then this home that you talked about? Carly, would you like to answer?
Sure. So the Twin Tech House is a little bit different because it offers a wide variety of options. Simple things that are just off the shelf, and then some things that are a little bit more complex. So in the house, we have a lot of smart home technology. We have an Alexa system, so that's the Echo Show, maybe a Ring doorbell, those sort of things. And then we Flick buttons. That's another good one I should point out that goes with the Alexa. And then we also have Google Home technology. So we have the Nest Hub, we have the Nest doorbell, an outdoor camera, some of those devices. And then we also have remote supports. So we have a contract with THS. They are the remote support provider in the home. And one of the biggest things that makes us unique is that that service is able to be activated and then utilized for an overnight stay. The remote support piece has a couple of cameras facing the exterior doors. We have two-way communication devices, motion sensors, a stove shutoff device, a smart lock. So just a variety, a fall detection system as well in the bedroom, a flood sensor in the bathroom, a smoke detector sensor that listens in for the smoke detector. So a wide variety of options for people. And when they stay or tour, they can try out whatever they want and then, not use the other items. We also have a strong focus on the transition age group because of that connection with the Wood County Educational Service Center. So we have tools that could be used in school for vocation or work. Just a good variety of things. We also do some pretty cool programming in the house. So we have an escape room activity where you have to escape the house using assistive technology. Of course, we don't actually lock you in, but it is quite a fun opportunity. We also have day programs and transition classrooms that come and do maybe a cooking group or a low-tech make and take group. So we offer a lot of programming in that house as well.
Use all your technology for good, allowing individuals to come in and learn how to cook or how to make a bed or sweep a floor, different things like that. That is pretty awesome that we have those things around Ohio to be able to promote and help individuals with multiple disabilities. Because, you hear a lot of parents saying, I don't know if I'm ready for my young adult, my child, to move out on their own. What about safety? What about the fires? What about this or that? What if they just run out the door? It's so good to have technology to be able to show the parent, hey, here is what can happen to protect your child or young adult. So it's awesome that way. Do you get a lot of parents that are nervous about trying out the tech home?
Yeah, I think that there's oftentimes a fear associated with using technology. I'm a parent myself, so I like to say like, well, I certainly couldn't be replaced by technology. So we like to promote to families and caregivers that like technology is certainly not a replacement for that human connection and assistance from other humans, but it can help make our job easier as parents and caregivers too. So, for example, just this morning, I was meeting with a family and they have two daughters, both of which have disabilities, and both of the girls are prone to elopement, which is a fancy way of saying they take off running out the house. So we talked about just some strategies and tools that the mom could use, like simple door alarms to alert her that the door is open. She's like, I still have to take care of myself and I need to fold laundry every once in a while. I don't always have an eye on them. So technology can really kind of offset some of the fatigue and things that caregivers sometimes feel. So oftentimes when we talk about technology, we also try to start small. So when I give a tour at the tech house, now there's over 100 pieces of technology in that house. And I oftentimes tell families there's no scenario where you would need this many pieces of technology in your house. And oftentimes families will start with something small and something that's kind of readily available off the shelf. Like, for example, a Google or an Alexa. I think most people are pretty comfortable with that technology. And then when we start to explain all the different things that it can do with reminders and calendars and timers, and that it can also be connected to other things like the smart locks and vacuum cleaners and light bulbs and all of these things, starting with that smart speaker can be a good kind of safe way for families to get introduced to technology. Another area that we see families kind of latch on to using technology is for medication management. Sometimes just sorting pills and having all those reminders to take medication is a burdensome task or just kind of an annoying task that people don't want to do. So using technology to make that a little bit easier and have those reminders and notifications that it's time to take your medicine is another area where we see people kind of latch on to using technology. So yeah, absolutely. Families sometimes have reservations about using tech, but we find, just where we find a good starting point and starting small. And sometimes we also are just using low tech items. I think that's an area that gets forgotten about, that it doesn't necessarily have to be something that uses the internet or plugs in. We recently were able to get a 3D printer, and we've had a lot of fun just kind of making some low tech items for people, things as simple as like a little slider schedule that I completed a task, or a seatbelt grabber so I can pull my seatbelt across my body. We've been able to do some low tech things like that and introduce technology to families that way.
I know that we often talk about service dogs being low tech. They're there to help and keep you safe and things like that. So low tech and high tech is an awesome thing for individuals with multiple disabilities. And I hear a lot of great stories of individuals saying, I can live on my own with remote support. I can live on my own with different things reminding me of my appointments or whatever I need to do around the home. And, a lot of individuals, they use their technology at work to remind them to when it's time to mop the floors or sweep the floors, where to take out the trash and different things like that. And it just amazes me how technology has came so far to allow individuals to live on their own. So I hear you guys talk about a changing table trailer. Tell me a little bit about that. What's that about?
So we outfitted a trailer. It's just a trailer that you would pull behind a truck. We designed it to include a porch. So first, when you access the trailer, you start on a porch. And then you go into a door, and that is the rest of the trailer. Inside the trailer, we have a height adjustable adult size changing table, a mobile lift with a couple slings if you need them, a sink for hand washing and hygiene. And then we do supply some disposable chuck pads to be able to use under individuals just to keep the space clean. There's also some assistive tech. So the soap dispenser is an automatic dispenser that you just put your hand under. The trash can is a no-touch trash can, so you just wave your hand over it and it opens up to use that. And then we also have a fan inside. We're looking at expanding it a little bit and making some improvements, but that's what the unit is for now. There's also a ramp so that it's fully accessible. So it's a really great unit. We just got it this summer, just in time for the Wood County Fair. So that was our first showcase. It was there for the whole week. After that, like Sarah mentioned, we took it to the Black Swamp Arts Festival. So it was there for a couple days. And then we are taking it next to the Down Syndrome Association of Greater Toledo, their annual walk that's happening this Sunday, actually, October 6th, over at Owens in Perrysburg. So we'll have it there. And then we're in the works with Toledo Metro Parks and also the Toledo Museum of Art. We have it booked for a couple of their 2025 events. So we're looking forward to sharing that resource. It's really exciting. We've gotten a lot of great feedback about just having it as an option for people so that they can enjoy community events and be able to do the things they need to do.
I see a lot of agencies and other groups all around Ohio talking about changing tables in different places, like Buc-ee's gas station that's coming open and other places. So why do we need more than just a baby changing table in a restroom? We would like to see something better and different in every business, like Walmart, Target, Kroger, whatever they may be. What would you recommend to these companies? Why would an adult changing table be something that they should consider?
Well, I think that one of the unexpected outcomes of the universal changing unit is it's just that it's universal. So it's easy for everyone to use. So we had families at the fair using it to change their infants, all the way up to young, older adults that are dependent on caregivers to be changed, use the device. And the same would be true for any place of business. So I think if we are able to open up that opportunity for individuals to have their basic needs met of going to the restroom, you're going to have customers utilizing your space in the case of a real retail environment. Maybe it's a place that people like to go for fun. You'll have more, individuals coming, and then also opens up so many employment opportunities for people with disabilities too. So one of the big barriers for employment, unfortunately, is, do I have a safe place to go to the bathroom? And that really shouldn't be the case. So it really just opens it up so everyone can access their basic needs in those places. And to me, I think when we frame it that way, it's hard for businesses to say like, no, we don't want to do that. When we talk about, that opens the space up for everyone. And when you have an adult size changing table, then guess what? I can change a little baby on it too. So then it becomes available for everyone.
So you're saying that if the businesses are more accessible with the adult changing tables and maybe other things that they may need to be more accessible on, will bring in more customers that have multiple disabilities and spend their own money?
Yes, people have money to spend.
That's what's going to happen?
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it?
Individuals with multiple disabilities make their own money, right? They make their own money. They're able to get out there. Some independent, some, with some help, get out there and enjoy their community. I always love to go to Target and sit and drink coffee at the Starbucks. Individuals may, that may be enjoyment to them, is going to Target. And if they can't do it, if they don't have a changing table in the bathroom to be able to do what they need to do. And so that is a great opportunity and a great way the businesses to look at and think, take a step back and think, how can we make it more better? How can we bring in that community and allow that community to enjoy our establishment, just like a theater, going and watching a movie? I always have a fear if it's not a bathroom close enough, if it's not open, if it's just a one-man bathroom, then I have a fear because what am I going to do? Is it going to be accessible? Because if I'm walking back and looking at the electronic, I need to know if I'm going to get back there to the bathroom and it's going to be accessible and me to be able to use it easier. So that is awesome. So if a businesses or someone around our community in Ohio want to know more about the changing table booths and other tech, so how would they get involved in this? And if anybody wants to volunteer to help, how would that happen?
So the best way would be to contact our email at remotesupport@woodcountydd.org. That email is checked by a few different staff, so we're able to keep an eye on that. That is how you would schedule tours. You can schedule overnight stays that way. That's how you request to use the changing table. And if you email that, we can also direct you to volunteer opportunities as well within the agency. And I will point out that there's a lot of grants in Ohio. I want to say they gave over $4 million throughout for several counties throughout Ohio to do things like changing tables and other accessibility upgrades throughout the state. So regardless of what county you're in, reach out to your local county board and see what opportunities might be available. In addition to those grants, a lot of assistive technology grants. So, several counties are involved in those as well.
If a business wants to have a changing table in their restroom, using it for young adults and young children, would you agree that if they put that in their restroom, they can write that off on their taxes as an accessible ability?
I think there's potential for that. I would recommend that they consult their accountant or another tax expert to see if that's an option. But I would think that it could potentially be a tax write-off as a business purchase.
Hire an individual with multiple disabilities and they make things more accessible for them to work in their environment. I've always been told that these individuals that hire individuals with multiple disabilities and make changes and being accessible, just like the changing tables or maybe making things bigger and larger for the individual to see, or just whatever it may be for them to do their job, that they could put that on their taxes to help them be able to revenue back for the next year. They can hire more people and then they get more money back. A lot of businesses don't have enough money. We don't have enough resources to do all that.
Those are good points, Chris. I do have a quick question in the few minutes remaining. Is there a county board of developmental disabilities in every county? And when was it started and what's the main purpose for the boards?
So there's 88 counties in Ohio, and each county has their own county board of developmental disabilities. So we happen to be in Wood County. So our major city is Bowling Green, Ohio. But then there's, Franklin County, Lucas County, Cuyahoga County. So every county has their own county board of developmental disabilities. So the intention behind the county boards is to help individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities live, work, and play as independently as possible. So every county board has positions called service and support administrators, or SSAs. Some folks kind of think of them as being a case manager, and they are the ones that help write the plans and goals with the individual served and help see them through.
What is something you're very proud of?
Well, as the occupational therapy department, I think I could speak on behalf of us, Carly. I'll be so bold. I think we're really proud of our assistive technology initiatives. And Ohio is a tech-first state, meaning we look at how technology can help individuals with disabilities. Technology should be included in all of their plans. And I think, we're really looked to as a leader on those tech-first initiatives. So we often get called upon on statewide, initiatives to provide examples of how we've done things to help kind of spur along other counties and kind of mentor other professionals in other counties to do similar work. So I think we're pretty proud of that work, and we love doing it. So
Hey, this has been a very good program, Chris. Two individuals that really shine when it comes to helping individuals overcome their disabilities using technology. This has been Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Carly, Sarah, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.